1. When developing a training module for new AAPC certified coders, which principle of adult learning is most critical to ensure engagement? A. Repetition of theoretical content. B. Inclusion of self directed learning opportunities. C. Emphasis on instructor led demonstrations only. D. Elimination of real world coding examples. To which evaluation method best measures the long term impact of a coding compliance training program? A. End of session feedback forms. B. Pre and post tests. C. On the job performance audits. D. Instructor self assessment. 3. In curriculum design for CPC, Certified Professional Coder candidates, the most effective sequencing strategy is A. Presenting advanced topics first to create challenge. B. Starting with basic anatomy and progressing to complex coding scenarios. Focusing only on CPT codes before anatomy. D. Using random module ordering to encourage flexibility. For a mentor guiding an apprentice coder should primarily focus on A. Giving exact answers for coding scenarios. B. Promoting critical thinking and problem solving. C. Monitoring attendance. D. Avoiding discussion of errors. 5. To ensure compliance with HIPAA in a coding education setting, the instructor should A. Allow learners to use real patient charts during exercises. B. Use de-identified case studies in all examples. C. Permit students to view partial PHI. D. Share limited clinical data under supervision. 6. When evaluating learner performance in a coding course, a formative assessment is used to A. Measure final mastery only. B. Provide ongoing feedback for improvement. C. Determine certification eligibility. D. Compare learners against national benchmarks. 7. The primary role of feedback in adult learning is to A. Enforce compliance with instructor expectations. B. Support self-reflection and skill refinement. C. Increase competition among learners. D. Focus on negative performance only. 8. An AAPC educator applying Bloom's taxonomy in coding instruction would most likely design activities that encourage memorization only. B. Move learners from remembering to applying and analyzing. C. Prioritize passive listening. D. Use only multiple choice quizzes. 9. Which instructional method best supports kinesthetic adult learners in coding education? A. Reading coding manuals. B. Group discussions. C. Hands-on practice with coding simulations. D. Watching lectures. 10 AAPC educators use summative assessments to identify learner motivation. B. Evaluate learning outcomes at the end of a program. C. Adjust ongoing teaching strategies. D. Provide mid-course feedback. 11. To ensure regulatory compliance in medical coding instruction, the educator must regularly review updates to ICD, CP, and HCPS code sets. B. Create entirely new coding systems. C. Ignore industry changes for curriculum stability. D. Outsource compliance oversight. 12. Effective mentoring in the AAPC community includes A. Giving step-by-step solutions without discussion. B. Encouraging independence and reflective practice. C. Focusing only on the mentor's experience. D. Avoiding constructive criticism. 13. Which principle of andragogy highlights adults' readiness to learn? A. They learn best when directed by authority. B. They are motivated when learning solves real-life problems. C. They prefer abstract theoretical material. D. They resist any change to prior knowledge. 14. To improve retention in online coding education, instructors should A. Use interactive case-based discussions. B. Provide text-only slides. C. Limit learner interaction. D. Avoid feedback loops. 15. When conducting peer evaluation among AAPC learners, the instructor should ensure A. Feedback is personal and subjective. B. Criteria are standardized and objective. C. Evaluations are unstructured and informal. D. Only instructors provide feedback. 16. Which curriculum development approach best ensures alignment with AAPC certification competencies? A. Backward design starting from exam objectives. B. Instructors' preferred teaching style. C. Random topic arrangement. D. Following outdated syllabi. 17. The most appropriate method to evaluate critical thinking in coding instruction is A. Multiple choice recall quizzes. B. Case analysis and justification exercises. C. Attendance records. D. Coding speed tests only. 18. When providing feedback, an effective AAPC mentor should A. Delay feedback until course completion. B. Deliver immediate, specific, and supportive feedback. C. Focus only on errors. D. Avoid discussing performance details. 19. Which communication strategy best supports diverse learners in coding education? A. Using jargon to demonstrate expertise. B. Simplifying complex ideas with visuals and plain language. C. Speaking rapidly to cover more content. D. Avoiding interactive discussion. 20. The use of rubrics in assessment design promotes A. Consistency and transparency in grading. B. Instructor bias in scoring. C. Ambiguity in performance criteria. D. Less accountability for learners. 21. When revising a curriculum to meet new CPT coding updates, educators should first A. Assess impact on existing learning outcomes. B. Modify all teaching materials immediately. C. Delete outdated modules without review. D. Wait for student feedback. 22. Effective mentoring relationships are characterized by A. Hierarchical control and dependency. B. Mutual respect and shared learning. C. Limited communication. D. One-sided instruction. 23. To promote ethical decision-making in coding education, instructors should A. Ignore gray areas in documentation. B. Encourage discussion of compliance dilemmas. C. Rely only on memorization of laws. D. Avoid compliance-related scenarios. 24. AAPC educators applying Kirkpatrick's Level 3 evaluation focus on A. Learner satisfaction. B. Knowledge acquisition. C. Behavioral change on the job. D. Training material quality. 25. The most effective feedback technique for adult learners is A. Generic praise. B. Constructive, behavior-focused comments. C. Emotional reinforcement. D. Comparison with peers. 26. A critical compliance principle when training coders is A. Encouraging upcoding for higher reimbursement. B. Teaching accurate documentation and billing ethics. C. Focusing only on speed. D. Ignoring payer rules. 27. When developing an online coding course, the educator should ensure accessibility by A. Adding closed captions and screen reader compatibility. B. Requiring only video-based learning. C. Using color-coded text exclusively. D. Limiting navigation options. 28. The primary purpose of reflective journaling in mentoring is to A. Record instructor feedback. B. Encourage self-assessment and critical analysis. C. Replace summative testing. D. Measure attendance. 29. Which learning activity best supports application-level skills in coding? A. Reading coding manuals. B. Performing mock chart audits. C. Reviewing vocabulary lists. D. Watching coding videos only. 30. When assessing communication effectiveness, AAPC educators should evaluate A. Clarity, tone, and accuracy of information exchange. B. Frequency of communication. C. Instructor's speaking volume. D. Use of complex vocabulary. 31. A key responsibility of AAPC instructors regarding regulatory compliance is A. Integrating CMS and OIG guidelines into lessons. B. Avoiding reference to legal standards. C. Teaching coding independent of regulations. D. Minimizing discussion on compliance. 32. Adult learners are most motivated when A. Learning addresses immediate professional needs. B. Instruction is unrelated to their job roles. C. The material is entirely theoretical. D. There is no assessment pressure. 33. When conducting a needs assessment for coding education, the educator should A. Identify learner experience levels and job demands. B. Skip analysis to save time. C. Use a standardized plan for all learners. D. Focus only on exam content. 34. In mentoring sessions, using the Socratic questioning method helps A. Promote critical thinking and reasoning. B. Provide direct answers quickly. C. Reduce learner autonomy. D. Limit exploration of coding complexities. 35. The most effective way to assess communication skills in a coding professional is through A. Observation of team-based documentation exercises. B. Written multiple choice exams. C. Silent self-reflection. D. Timed recall tests. 36. Which element is most important when developing compliance training aligned with AAPC ethics standards? A. Integrating real-world compliance cases. B. Relying solely on lecture-based delivery. C. Avoiding sensitive regulatory issues. D. Limiting learner participation in discussions. 37. To maintain the validity of assessments for AAPC training programs, educators should A. Align all test items with defined learning objectives. B. Include random off-topic questions. C. Use only instructor-developed unverified quizzes. D. Base exams purely on learner preference.